the people of Mount Kenya were presented with the most progressive politician in this country for the last 30 years, and they rejected him. Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga has said, I was rejected. I'm not going to go after your vote again. You're one of the largest votes in this country. You rejected me and elected the most right-wing president we've had in this country. And I feel that it's wrong for Mr. Odinga to say this is your comeuppance. I think that's not politics. I think that's ethnic nationalism. But just as much as we have a right to criticize Raila Odinga for his lurch on the moral authority, we have a right to criticize Mr. Kagwanja's assertion that the people of Mount Kenya, that there was a civilian coup because the Mount Kenya people are not in power. But they also did a civilian coup themselves. They rejected Mr. Odinga when the vote came, when the push came to shove, which is their right. That's the history of this contradiction.
Yeah. Yes, Sheila.
Thank you. I think we've been having a very intense debate here.
Yes.
Great.
This is great.
And if I could just jump in for a second, I think let Raila Odinga be Raila Odinga. If you sit in my perspective, the big fight for me is coming on that ballot in 2027. And whether you like it or not, there's 70% of this population that if you ask them about all this history, they don't even understand that. And that's why I keep insisting it is the economy. If you don't get the economy correct, if you don't get human rights correct, if you don't get education correct, if you don't get investment and job opportunities, manufacturing back here, if you don't get opportunities for our largely unemployed populations, it doesn't matter who you are. You could be anybody and you're going absolutely nowhere. That is the frustration that we're seeing here. There's a lack of opportunity. There's a lack of systemic investment in order for everyone to be able to have purchasing power. And this is what I keep saying. Because many people are asking, even in the regions where they're taking a lot of the goodies there, if you go back down to the youth, which is most of the population, and you ask them, but why do you still have a problem with President Ruto? He's doing everything. He's building the bridge. He's building this. He's doing that. What is your problem exactly? And for me, that's a symptom to show that you cannot shy away from systemic change. And even now, we're talking about compensating victims of protests by giving the individual money. That will not be enough. We need justice. We need systemic reform. And I think we need to shy away from the old politics that we've been doing, putting ourselves in the small cocoons. If you remember the people who showed up last year, I was one of them. And I always say this, it was partyless, leaderless, tribeless, and the rest of them. They seem to take this for granted. But there's such a powerful messaging that is being sent there, that we have to now transit to an issue-based political system. That is what the people are asking for. Because when the system works, it works for you. Whether you like me, you don't like me. If there's a police officer in front of me, I am arrested, I'm taken to a police station, I will not get killed, regardless of my affiliation, my tribe, and whatever else is going on. It is issue-based. And sometimes we are caught up in the old lines and this and that. And it's normal because that's what you're used to. But I keep telling everybody, listen to the masses. Let's not sit in a room somewhere and go back and forth completely out of touch with what is actually happening. Because if you saw that all the activities that are going on, from the empowerment programs to certain regions now feeling we're part of the government, and then you're still seeing, there's some noise going on. And you're asking, but what is this silent noise? That is the sound of the majority. And there is no shortcut. You're going to have to fix the system from a policy perspective. You have to understand that your role as government is to provide an enabling environment in order for us to focus on the Constitution, focus on the issue, and liberate ourselves. Nothing short, nothing less. And I keep insisting this over and over again. The majority of Kenyans, even in 2022, of registered voters did not vote. Right? So you have them who, neither parties that we're discussing on this table were their president of choice. They're just sitting out there and they're waiting. So let's not get too caught up. And these are the ones who are coming out and saying, focus on the issues. Whether you're from Mount Kenya, a lot of us grew up mixed in different tribes and the rest of them. So we are having a really hard time connecting with some of these conversations. So let's just transit. We are the majority and we're going to show up in 2027.
And Council,